Hey guys, Redus here. I've been a CrossFit coach for 6 years and I've been coaching Olympic style weightlifting for the past 5 years. You also may remember me from the CrossFitter versus bodybuilder video with SixPackAbs.com a while back. Today I'm here to talk to you about the 5 main types of squats you're going to see in any CrossFit or general functional fitness program. The first squat I'm going to talk about is the air squat. So the air squat is the foundation of all the other squats, and that's what you always start teaching people first, because if they can't air squat, then they shouldn't be trying to learn more advanced movements later on down the road. We're going to talk about the key points of performance. We're going to start with the stance first, because your feet are your base. So your feet are going to be about hip to shoulder width apart with a slight turn out of your toes, so that way your knees can track over them. From there, once we have our stance set up, we're going to talk about bracing. So you always want to practice bracing to make sure your spine's protected and you're not just going down loose into the bottom of a squat. The way you brace is you get a big inhale full of air and you're trying to squeeze your belly, back, and your butt after you get in a big breath of air to brace your midsection. You want your entire torso rigid. From there, we're going to move on to the descent of the squat, and you're going to start by pressuring your heels in the squat with a slight pressure in the forefoot. And from there, you're going to slightly push the hips back and descend down into a squat until your hip crease reaches below your knee crease with your knees tracking over the toes. From there, you're still going to stay braced. You're going to stand back up the same way you went down until you get your knees and hips fully extended and you're standing tall again. And you've just completed 1 rep of an air squat. Moving on to squat number 2, the back squat. The back squat is one of the best lifts to develop overall strength and durability in your body. You're getting strong legs, a strong core and midsection from having to brace when you squat. And now we're going to talk about the key points of performance. So stances can vary for a back squat, but we're going to use the same stance we used in our air squat. So that way our knees are tracking over our toes whenever we go down, and we're still going to pressure our feet the same way. For placement of the bar is going to be on the back on top of your traps. So those big muscles right next to the side of your neck, you're going to put the bar on top of those. It's right below that C7 spinal process. Your hands are going to be just outside shoulder width so you can stay nice and tight and compact. From there, you're going to descend the same way we did in the air squat. You're going to get in a big breath of air, squeeze your belly, back, and butt. Then you're going to start to descend down with the hips slightly going back until your hip crease goes below your knee crease. And then once you reach that depth, you stand back up until your hips and knees are fully extended. Moving on to squat number 3, the front squat. Bar is going to be in front of the body now, so this kind of changes the game. You have to maintain a very upright trunk in order to perform a proper front squat at full depth. Because if you're leaning forward, the bar is just going to fall down in front of you. So with bar placement, the bar is going to go right above the collarbone, resting on top of your deltoids. And from there, your hands are going to be just outside shoulder width, and you're trying to rest the bar in the palm of your hand. Once you have the bar in the palm of your hand, you're going to gently push your elbows up until you can get your elbows and triceps almost completely parallel to the ground and slightly to the outside, getting a little bit of shoulder protraction so the shoulders are pushed up into extension and rotation like that. From there, the descent and the bracing is the same for the air squat and the back squat we already covered. So from there, I'm going to get braced. My hips are going to slightly go back, and my knees are going to track over my toes until I reach below my knee crease with my hip crease, and I'm going to stand back up the same way until my hips and knees are fully extended. All right, guys, moving on to squat number 4, the overhead squat. This is where things can get a little tricky for most people. So don't be in a rush. This is all about form over weight. So talking about hand placement, since the bar is going to go over our head. For the most part, most people need to start with their hands wide enough on the barbell to where if you're standing up with the bar like you did a deadlift, the bar is going to sit right in the crease of the hip. From there, you're going to pull the bar over your head. As far as positioning goes, you want to put that bar in line with the base of your neck. So the bar is going to be slightly behind a little bit, in line with the back of the shoulder and not the front of the shoulder. The stance, you can go a little bit wider than where we were from hip to shoulder width. So starting point for an overhead squat is going to be shoulder width, if not a little bit wider with the toes turned out more. From there, you're going to descend the same way you did on all the other squats. Hips go slightly back and the knees are tracking over the toes. On the overhead squat, if you have a full time reaching full depth, don't worry about trying to go down lower, because we're more worried about good overhead position than depth on this. If you can get down low, that's great. If not, don't worry about it. Once you get your hip crease below your knee crease, you can stand up. Or if you start to feel your shoulders go back into extension and the bar come forward, just stop right there and hold it for 2 seconds and stay tight, and then stand back up, and then eventually you'll be able to get down into a full depth overhead squat. Moving on to squat number 5, the pistol squat. So now everything changes because we're doing one leg at a time instead of two. So for balance, we're going to talk about where to put the feet. You're going to put them right in the middle of where your hips are, one foot at a time. The other foot is going to start in front of you, not touching the ground, and you're going to get braced just like we did on the other squats. So big breath in, squeeze the belly, back, and butt, and then from there, you're going to slowly descend down. Other leg is completely straight, and you're keeping it out in front of you, not touching the ground, until the leg you're squatting on, that hip crease reaches below the knee crease, and you stand back up. That covers the 5 main types of squats you'll see in CrossFit or any general functional fitness program. If you liked the video, let us know. Comment below if you have any questions or want to see more. Again, post below in the comments and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Also, share the video and subscribe to SixPackAbs.com. This is Redus. Hope you guys train smart, and I'll see y'all next time.